Hi, Mickey Wong, Slim Type 2 Diabetes here, and in this video I want to talk about Slim Type 2 Diabetes. So in particular, what is Slim Type 2 Diabetes? I'm a Slim Type 2 Diabetic, and how is this different from Type 2 Diabetes and diabetes in general? So if you're diagnosed with Type 2 Diabetes or some sort of medical condition, please seek advice from your healthcare provider, because I am not a doctor, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a medical authority. The things that I'm going to share with you are really entirely on my experience as an individual with type 2 diabetes, insulin resistance, metabolic syndrome, and the treatments or the methods that I'm about to share is entirely on my own experience, and the results will differ from one individual to another. So if you want to get advice, please seek your medical and healthcare provider. So with the medical disclaimer done, let me just share with you how I felt when I was first diagnosed. So I was 29 years old when I was first diagnosed. Yeah, that was in 2010, and let me just say that it wasn't the best time of my life. See, diabetes, when you hear the word diabetes, it does resonate with painful life. And when I was told I was the type 2 diabetic, or I just had simply blood sugars that were through the roof, I didn't know what to do. I was like, man, I'm just 29. I'm supposed to be living my life. It's supposed to be, I'm just about to peak in my life, and this is some devastating news I hear, that I'm not gonna be a normal person anymore. It felt like I'm disabled. I have some sort of a condition that requires constant medical supervision and monitoring, so I can't live my life normal anymore, and there goes my hopes and dreams. When I first got diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, I felt it was like watching a horror movie, because in a horror movie, everything is scary because you don't know what's going to happen next. You don't know what's going to come up from the closet, from the room. It's also stressful and creepy. And the key thing is because it's uncertainty and suspense. You just don't know what you're dealing with. I was first diagnosed when I was 29 years old in May 2010. I know exactly how someone feels when they have been diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. I mean, oh my god, during that time it was all the emotions running in. It's all the negative stuff that runs in your head, like what I'm gonna do. Am I gonna die? Am I gonna be like am I gonna have amputated limbs? You had all these emotions running in. You have sleepless nights, you were depressed, and every negative thought that is in your mind, I've gone through it, and believe me, I didn't like that time. But 10 years on, 9 years on, it's almost a decade since I've been diagnosed. Let me just share with you that being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes was probably the best thing that happened to me in these 10 years, or in my life, or in these 10 years. I have actually learned a lot about myself, my body, a lot about life, and a lot of things regarding health and myself after being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. I mean, it's easy to say because the last 10 years, I could share with you, the last 10 years was not, it was a lot of challenges, but I've learned a lot. And if I could summarize it in just a few words, type 2 diabetes could be the best thing that happened to me. What is slim type 2 diabetes? So before we go specifically on slim type 2 diabetes, let me just say a few words about diabetes in general. So diabetes is basically your body's inability to control or regulate blood sugars. You are type 2 diabetic or a diabetic when you have blood sugar numbers consistently above. When you say consistently, it's at least 3 different readings above. Type 2 diabetes is a condition that is mainly your body still produces insulin, but the insulin can't do its job to allow sugar, the blood sugar, to get into your cell to be used as energy. That is different from type 1. Type 1 diabetes is basically you have no insulin producing cells to produce insulin, and that's why your blood sugars just go up, skyrocket. So what is a slim type 2 diabetes? All right. See, the thing about type 2 diabetes is that it is not something, it is a symptom. It's not something that you'll feel pain. It's not an ultimate pain or something like that. You just probably feel a little bit more or a lot more thirsty than usual, and you have the need to go to the toilet to pee more often than usual. But it's not painful. You don't feel like there's a sharp pain or something like that. You see, high blood sugar is the main symptom of type 2 diabetes, and also all forms of diabetes. But like I said, it's a symptom. High blood sugar is actually a symptom, and it's basically a slow and silent killer in your body, because if you don't do anything about it, high blood sugar, it's going to damage your body slowly and surely. So how it does is basically in the eyes, the high blood sugar will actually corrupt your eyesight, and you become blind. In your brain, Alzheimer's disease is actually known as type 3 diabetes, and it corrupts your brain functions and all. Then for your liver, for your kidneys, where it damages all your insides of your kidney, and you have to go on dialysis. Your gums, you get rotten tooth, and your gums just rot. Okay, rotting is a term that's used by a doctor who's very popular in the type 2 diabetes scene. But I'll just say it damages your body inside out, and it takes time. It takes a little bit of time before all these things happen. These complications or these nasty things only happen if and only if you don't do anything about your high blood sugars or your type 2 diabetes. So what's slim type 2 diabetes different from the standard type 2 diabetes? See, slim type 2 diabetes, and how is it different from the normal type 2 diabetes? A normal type 2 diabetic is usually overweight, obese, just a little bit bigger, and I don't want to use this word, but they are a little bit more fat. They're just a bit more, just a bit more chubby and all. But before they were diagnosed, usually it's always accompanied with significant weight gain, probably 30, 50, or even 100 pounds, and accompanied by a steady rise in blood sugar, slowly but surely until they become diabetic. So slim type 2 diabetes have the same symptoms, well, except you don't gain significant weight, or you don't even gain any weight. Slim type 2 diabetics usually remain the same weight, and they are normally even of normal weight, slim, skinny, or even underweight. Slim type 2 diabetes happens about, or it occurs in around 10, 15, maybe 20% of all type 2 diabetics or type 2 diabetes cases. So it's a minority. Similarity of type 2 diabetes with slim type 2 diabetes is fat. Yes, you heard me, fat. See, the fat, unlike the type 2 diabetes whom are overweight, obese, or fat, or that fat is seen from the outside. But for the slim type 2 diabetes, this fat is hidden. It's hidden, but it's still lurking inside the body. It's still there. It's just lurking deep inside the body. So you might look slim from the outside, but inside you're fat, you're obese. How this happens is basically the term tofi: thin on the outside, fat in inside. TOFI, thin outside, fat inside. So what happens is basically instead of the fat accumulating in your skin or under your skin, type 2 diabetics usually accumulate the fat inside their bodies, basically in between their organs or in their organs. Now this fat, visceral fat, the fat inside your body, is actually more dangerous than the fat that's out of your body in your skin. Basically this fat, this visceral fat, is it disrupts the function of your organs because it sits between your organs, and it also spills out inflammatory signals. Slim type 2 diabetes happens to 10 to 15 or maybe 20% of type 2 diabetics, but there is a prevalence in certain ethnic groups, especially for people from East and South Asia, people who are Indians, Chinese, Southeast Asians, who are slimmer built but tend to actually have more distribution of fat in the body. A very common protocol to actually treat type 2 diabetes, most people will tell you to lose weight. So slim type 2 diabetics don't have this excess weight to lose. We just don't simply have this 30 or 50 or 100 pounds to lose, because otherwise then we'll turn into sticks or skeletons. For slim type 2 diabetes, the focus shouldn't be weight loss. Well, actually, weight loss shouldn't be the focus for any treatment in type 2 diabetes. Weight loss is actually the result of having taken the right steps to counter your diabetes, whether it is a good treatment protocol or whether it's good habits like eating well, exercising well. So weight loss will usually be the result of taking good steps towards your health and treating your diabetes. 2 diabetics who are overweight and obese also have visceral fat. The thing is that their body's fat storage distribution, it's a lot more than slim type 2 diabetics. So they'll take a lot longer, and it is actually protective. So it'll take them a lot longer to have actually diabetes compared to a slim type 2 diabetic. For people who are obese or overweight, usually if they lose some pounds, they lose some weight, they will definitely see some improvement in their blood sugars almost immediately. For slim type 2 diabetics, we need to focus on fat loss, especially fat loss that is deep inside our bodies, the fat loss of visceral fat. Or the thing that separates type 2 diabetes, overweight type 2 diabetes and slim type 2 diabetes is personal fat threshold. And personal fat threshold, it varies from individual to individual, and like I mentioned earlier, it's also a lot to do with genetics and ethnic groups, especially if you're from Southeast Asia, East Asia, or from where people tend to have to get slim type 2 diabetes easier than other ethnic groups. If you like more videos on type 2 diabetes or on just slim type 2 diabetes, please subscribe to this channel. Thank you, and I look forward to making more videos for you. Thank you.